President Cyril Ramaphosa confirming that over 3,000 arrests have been made in connection with the state capture, fraud and corruption. Ramaphosa updated the nation on Sunday night on state capture developments. Now, the South African president adding that state law enforcement agencies, including the National Prosecuting Authority, are being strengthened. Newzroom Africa's Mohlaoli joining us live now from Braamfontein. Tumaole, good morning to you. You'll tell us exactly why you are there, but key here is the reaction to the president's speech last night and making a number of bold statements. But are those statements in line with what the Commission of Inquiry recommended? For example, an independent anti-crime fighting agency. Are South Africans going to be appeased by what the president said last night, and that is that the independent investigative directorate, which is the ID that sits within the NPA, is now going to be a permanent feature, within the NPA. That doesn't make it independent, does it?
Very good observation there, Koli, and I think let's start there. While it sits within the NPA, many questions will be raised about whether it can operate autonomously, as you've just raised that question. And many observers are saying, well, seeing what has been done in terms of, in the past, trying to basically disarm the NPA and other special investigating units, including the Hawks and the Scorpions in the past, many questions are raised as whether the independence of this new directorate sitting within the NPA will be guaranteed. I guess this is just a cynicism looking at what had happened in the lead up to the so-called state capture years. Only time will tell, Koli, whether this intent will carry out in terms of how it is envisaged. But when one looks at the numbers in terms of the work to try and curb the state capture, one is astounded at the amount of work that has been done, and this is something that has been highlighted by President Cyril Ramaphosa in his address to the nation just last night. Let me just give you a taste of those figures. When you look at since the start of 2018, the appointment of new leadership at the Hawks, an institution that, as I've mentioned, was targeted for weakening during the state capture project, 4,500 convictions have been attained so far. That seems to send a clear message that there is really that political will and certainly a drive to try and turn the wave and turn the tide when one looks at the state capture project. Now, to answer your question as to why I'm here, I'm now outside the offices of the city of Johannesburg, and this was one of the locations, of course, the key locations where the State Capture Commission of Inquiry held its hearings, and those hearings are the result of what we are seeing right now in terms of the president giving that particular address, giving impetus into what the recommendations were before the Commission of Inquiry while it finished its work, and that was contained in the reports that were handed over to President Cyril Ramaphosa just earlier this year. The President did say, of course, that through Parliament and through the work and recommendations given by the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, we would see certain changes, and these are the changes that have been recommended, and these are the changes that are now being implemented. And only time will tell if, of course, these changes will have some kind of bite in terms of bringing those who have cases to answer to book. Now, when one looks at the political fallout, if I can, of the State Capture Commission of Inquiry's work already before the courts, we see a host of individuals, politically connected individuals, high-flying individuals. Just in the Palm Ridge Specialized Crimes Court, we see that Angelo Agrizi and, of course, Vincent Smith, former parliamentarian, are before the dock there. That case has been hamstrung by a couple of delays, raising a lot of questions as to whether the Bosasa matter will finally see its conclusion in terms of justice. But, of course, key to those, delays, if one will, is Angelo Agrizi's health we also see that in another court here in Johannesburg, that the former chairperson of SAA, Dudumieni, certainly also before court there earlier this year and last year, and that case also a matter of great public interest. So certainly we see that the wheels are beginning to turn, and based on what the President says, we are certainly expecting more.
Tumaole Mohlaoli, thank you very much, bringing us live update from a venue that used to be the center of where the State Capture Commission of Inquiry sat.